years into Jetta TDI ownership, and this is my last report on the car. I've owned it since it was new, 2010 model Jetta TDI sedan with the automatic transmission. I have 170,000-ish miles on it now, and I've primarily used it as a commuter. But ever since the Volkswagen scandal came up about, what, 9 months ago, a year ago or so, I guess like 9-10 months ago, I have stopped driving the car until just recently. My wife, her lease on her Mazda ended, so she's going to be driving it for the next month and a half, 2 months, until Volkswagen buys the car back. So for all of you that don't know, Volkswagen cheated emissions. They had their computers go into a different mode when they were plugged into smog machines, basically read clean, and they were, you know, multiple times that reading when in the real world. So Volkswagen's either buying back the cars or paying customers, I think it's $5,000, and they keep the car and do a fix that Volkswagen supposedly has coming down the road here. So I have really mixed feelings with this car. The Jetta, I'm not driving it right now. As you can see, I'm driving a 2005, I think 5 or 6 Acura TSX 6-speed manual, which is my new my interim commuter car. But the Volkswagen, I have really mixed feelings. I still love the fit and finish of the car, especially compared to this Acura. The quality of materials, I mean, twofold this Acura. But as you know from the last video, I had a turbo go out at 70,000 miles or 80,000 miles or so. I then again had a turbo go out about 500 to 700 miles ago. So another $2,500, $3,000 for another turbo. Had that replaced. And then within 500 miles of having that turbo replaced, I basically haven't been driving the car. I lent it to my brother. He took it on a trip, and the glow plug light came on. So I had the car, I brought it to the Volkswagen dealership, and typical Volkswagen service center, they're awful, but 5 days later they give me a call, yeah, so you need a new turbo. I'm like, what the hell? I just replaced it 500 miles ago. They're like, oh, you did? I'm like, yeah, you guys did it. They're like, oh, we did? So a whole thing went on with that, and of course they replaced it, and I'm super frustrated and pissed off. And I'm like, man, this is, I don't know, you can't trust this car. I mean, turbo goes out, like, and the manager or service manager or whatever, he goes, well, just between me and you, it wasn't the turbo's fault, it was us. We didn't install it right, we didn't button it all up. Like, all right, so even less confidence in Volkswagen Santa Cruz, because they're horrible. But yeah, so that's where we're at now. So it's had 3 replacement turbos, so it's on its 4th turbo in you know, 6 years. Accumulate, I've spent around $6,000 in turbos over 6 years, so $1,000 in turbos a year. Figure that's another $100 a month I've been paying just on turbos. So it kind of makes the car, any fuel savings I would have had kind of went out the window there. I mean, unless the GTI would have had the same problem or whatever. But yeah, and now with all Volkswagen's, you know, their emission thing and all this, I don't know. It's definitely making it where I don't think I would buy a new Volkswagen. I might lease one, and I might even think about replacing my wife's car with an e-Golf, which is what Brian from Driving While Awesome just replaced his Jetta TDI with an e-Golf. So I might do that. It's a lease. It would be full warranty, you know, return it after 3 years, so who cares? And they're a good practical car. And like I said, I like the driving dynamics and everything else, but I don't know, they haven't, you know, stuff like that, them cheating, you know, that's one big thing. And then having these turbo problems just really annoyed me. Besides that, the car's been great though. Haven't really had any issues. I mean, I did the front wheel bearings at some point, 100,000 miles or 120. Normal maintenance. You know, as far as the old stigma behind Volkswagen of like electronics going bad, stuff like that in the 90s, 2000s, seems to, I don't know, as far as in my case, that seems to be all gone. All the windows work properly. You know, hasn't had any issues with the electronics. Still on its original battery. Still, you know, original alternator, all that kind of stuff. Basically just done pads and rotors and about probably 15 sets of tires or something crazy like that. So yeah, that's my update. Hopefully the last one, unless something crazy happens in the next month and a half, 2 months, like another turbo goes out. But I don't know, I don't think I could recommend buying a new Volkswagen based on this. I mean, just with my experience, it's been pretty horrible. Their dealer network hasn't been the greatest. You know, the service, all that stuff. So I don't know if I can recommend it, but I could still recommend leasing them, because I do think they're well put together cars, nice interior for the money you're paying, and you know, good driving dynamics. Like steering feel is, I mean, so much better than this Acura TSX. The on-center feel and just the quickness of the, you know, it has a quicker ratio steering. It has a fatter steering wheel. It's just, everything's a little nicer. The leather is a little nicer on the steering wheel. The plastics are better grade plastics, everything. But, you know, spending that much money on turbos and having a car that's in the shop is never fun. So, and with the whole emissions thing. So, yep, that's it. See you guys later. Bye.